I know you've been calling yourself lazy lately. I hear it in the way you sigh before getting out of bed, in the way you apologize for needing rest. But let me tell you something. It's not laziness. It's weight. The invisible kind. The kind you carry in your mind, in your chest, behind your eyes. This isn't about motivation. This is about heaviness. And maybe, just maybe, you don't need to try harder. You need to heal gentle. What if procrastination isn't really the problem, but more like a signal? Not a flaw necessarily, but a quiet message from your nervous system. You see, we often think procrastination is about laziness, that if we just had more willpower, we could push through. But willpower is a brittle thing when you're carrying unprocessed emotions, unhealed perfectionism, or the fear of being not enough. Sometimes you delay the project, not because you don't want to do it, but because it touches something tender. It might remind you of a past failure, or expose you to future judgment, or simply feel like another thing you have to earn your worth through. And so you wait, you scroll, you clean, you do everything but the one thing. Not because you're weak, but because some part of you is trying to protect you. That resistance isn't your enemy. It's your body whispering, I'm not Ray. I'm still holding something. Please slow down. And maybe that's where healing begins. Not with guilt, not with force, but with listening. There's this quiet kind of heaviness that never really makes it into the conversation. You know, it's the kind that keeps you staring at the same task for days, not because you don't care, but because some part of you just feels too tangled up to even begin. They call it procrastination, but I don't think that word really holds the truth. It isn't about being lazy, no. It's about being full. Full of expectations, full of pressure, full of everything you were supposed to have done already. And under all that weight, you just freeze. You disappear. You retreat into the softness of distraction, not because it feels good, but because it feels safer than failing again. So, if no one has told you this lately, I will. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're just tired. And tender. And quietly overwhelmed. And you don't need to force your way out. You just need to come back to yourself. Gently. Softly. Without shame. This isn't a productivity lecture. This is a return. To ease. To breath. To motion. Let's begin again. Without punishment this time. And maybe, just maybe, you don't need to try harder. You need to heal gentler. You don't need a grand plan, just one small move. Begin small, so small it almost feels silly. A breath, a pen uncapped, a glass of water before the first word. Because momentum doesn't start with motivation, it begins with motion. And the smallest motion is often enough to remind your nervous system, it's safe now. We're okay. We can try. You don't need to do it all today. You don't need a perfect morning routine, or to suddenly become your most productive self. You just need a gentle re-entry point. Something that asks nothing of you but your presence. 1 minute of focus. 1 page of notes. Or your mind wanders halfway through. That's all right. You showed up. And that's more than enough. This is how we begin again. Not with punishment, but with softness, with trust, with the quiet belief that even now, you're allowed to come home to yourself. There's this quiet little myth we carry around, isn't there? That we gotta wait to become the version of ourselves we admire from afar. That we have to, earn it. That we're not her yet. Not him. Not them. Not until we check enough boxes. Prove ourselves enough times. Fix everything that's broken. But what if you're not becoming them? What if you're already you, just layered beneath dust and doubt? What if the version you dream of is not a stranger, but a memory of who you were always meant to be? You don't need to hustle to become whole. You don't need to chase every sunrise or heal on a schedule. The work is already happening in the moments you stop performing and just exist. You choosing silence over shame. You saying no without apology. You loving what you love, even if no one claps. That is becoming. It's not loud. It's not glamorous. It's rarely visible to the world, but it's real. And if no one's told you lately, you're not behind. You're not broken. You're not late to your own life. You're becoming. Beautifully, imperfectly, right on time. So, what now, hun? Now, you move slowly. Not 'cause you're weak, no, but 'cause you're wise enough to know that speed doesn't equal growth. You give yourself permission to not have all the answers, you know? You stop treating uncertainty like failure. You rest, not as a reward, but as a rhythm. The future isn't a finish line. It's not some grand reveal. It's a soft unfolding, petal by petal, moment by moment. Let it be gentle from here. Let mornings be quiet and messy. Let your boundaries be sacred. Let your healing be private. Let your joy be small, but yours. You don't have to turn your pain into a brand. You don't have to narrate your entire journey. You just have to live it, honestly, tenderly, presently. And if the road ahead feels foggy, walk anyway. There is clarity in motion. There is peace in presence. And you are already enough for everything that's coming. And if your heart still feels heavy, there's something waiting for you just before this one. A quiet companion, the kind that doesn't fix but understands. You'll find it right here when you're ready. Until then, be gentle with yourself.